Hello YouTube and welcome to Burrow Mump. Since I moved to Somerset, this tiny hill with its ruined chapel is something that has captured my imagination, and I've been back to visit many times with both the camera and the drone, yet it never seems to lose its majestic feel. Its steep incline leading up to the church of St Michael gives you a small workout, but the views from the top are stunning, due to the Mump being one of the few elevated places on the Somerset levels. Burrow Mump is an interesting name, and much like Koala Bear, which means bear, both the words burrow and mump mean hill. So this week's video is about a place called Hill Hill. At only 24 metres high, Burrow Mump stands at the meeting point of the rivers Parrett and Tone, and the old route of the River Kerry before the construction of King Sedgemoor's Drain. If you haven't seen that video yet, click the link in the description. So it is easy to see how this would have been a great position for trade, as it provides access to inland towns and markets. Archaeological studies here have found evidence of pottery and coins dating back to Roman times, which suggests they were some of the first to have made use of this prime trading spot. And Roman soldiers may also have come through this way to get to Roman forts and settlements that we know existed in Ilchester and Glastonbury. You may be forgiven for thinking it was constructed to form the motte of a Motte and Bailey castle, and indeed there is evidence it was used in that way in the Middle Ages, but the hill is an entirely natural structure and is one of only a few places locally that would have been dry enough for habitation amongst the boggy marshland that covered the area for centuries. It is precisely the inhospitableness of the marshes which led to the arrival of one of England's most famous kings. Fleeing from the marauding Viking Guthrum, King Alfred the Great had been forced from his home in Winchester and sought refuge at the nearby island of Athelney. Now little more than a gently rolling piece of farmland, it was once the last bastion of the English throne, with Burrow Mump joined by a small causeway to the island, playing a vital role of lookout point should Guthrum's forces try and approach from the east. In 888, Alfred would go on to memorialise his stay by founding Athelney Abbey on the island, but Burrow Mump had to wait until the 14th century to become home to a somewhat more modest medieval church dedicated to St Michael. This was later taken down to make way for the 18th century Church of St Michael, the remains of which sit on the top of the hill today. However, the new church was never completed, as during the construction phase, the parish decided they would prefer their church at the bottom of the hill. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for our next videos.